Hi everybody, this is Dan Stolbarker. Welcome to this week's KFIR Middle East update. But before I say anything else, let me wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Now let's take a look, and remember, grab the PDF PowerPoint. You can get it on the YouTube channel or our website at holygroundexplorations.com. We always start out with our news bites. Lot going on in the Middle East, sobering terrorist attacks. One person was killed, 4 wounded near the Temple Mount. Hamas, of course, goes out of its way to praise the terrorist, referring to them as martyrs and shaheeds when actually murderers. Prime Minister Bennett is ordering police to increase their watch because of copycat phases, but this is happening way too frequently these days, and it's just being promoted, and it's not so subtle, by the PA themselves. So once again, a terrorist attack right outside the chain gate, which leads into the Temple Mount. Bennett is stating the obvious for Israel. He's basically making it clear that Israel must retain operational freedom against Iran, even if the nuclear deal, so-called nuclear deal, is renewed. Israel won't be a signer, obviously, but he's making it very clear we do not consider ourselves, Israel, bound by its terms. Defensive Minister Benny Gantz is talking and warning about the capabilities of Iran's drones. He basically says Iran has one goal and one ambition, and that simply is world domination. Make no mistake about it. And of course, these unmanned drones are it's ridiculous, their capacities to create terror and mayhem, I guess you would say. And they're being used right now in the Gulf, and again, it's just amassing a massive army of unmanned drones. That's what's taken place with Iran at this point in time. Now, the U.S., these are irregular articles making it clear to Israel. Simply, the title of this article is U.S. to Israel, Stop It. The Biden administration has attempted to warn Israel against attacking Iran's nuclear sites, insisting that such action is counterproductive. Israel's dismissed, in fact, ignored the warning, and will still go after either nuclear scientists or do whatever they can. It's a point of contention, but Israel is not going to sit on the sidelines and remain quiet. Again, in the last 20 months, Israeli intelligence has assassinated Iran's chief nuclear scientist. They set off major explosions at 4 key Iranian nuclear sites, hoping to destroy the centrifuges and set back Iran's nuclear timeline. And that will continue despite Biden's statement, stop it. Moment of truth. That's the name of this next article. As Iran zeroes in on its nuclear breakout, Israel's government is openly weighing a direct attack on Iran's nuclear programs in hopes of setting it back. Again, we know Biden's administration is attempting a one last-ditch effort to create what will be a flimsy, false nuclear agreement. But bottom line is America's about ready to sell Israel down the proverbial drain and preparing the way for either Israel to have a green-lighted attack against Iran, or we'll turn our backs on Israel. That's no other way to put it. That's what's taken place. Hamas uprising. Right when you think things can't get any worse with everything that's taken place with Hamas in Gaza and the folks in Sderot and that whole area just being the targets of so many rockets, Katyushas that are being launched. Hamas has come out to basically say the next round of fighting will be the most dangerous of the 4 major rounds that we've had to date. Ground invasions into Israel by Hamas, terror tunnels, operatives, drones, abductions of Israeli citizens and soldiers. And again, Iran purportedly is pouring drones into the hands of the terrorist groups in Gaza. And not just the Katyusha rockets that it's just a guess on where they're going to land, but precision rockets as well. So it's the next chapter, and it's right before our very eyes right now. 2-state solution. Okay, we're going to hear more and more about this. A couple slides here for your perusal. One is statements made by the Prime Minister, Mohammed, I don't know if I can say his name, Shataya. He's reminded Palestinians that there's no such thing as Jewish history in Jerusalem. He goes on, quote, Jerusalem has Canaanite, Roman, Islamic, and Christian antiquities, but there's no traces whatsoever of Jews. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then on this next slide, you'll see textbooks. I've told you about the Palestinian textbooks. This happens to be a poster of a school event featuring the Palestinian map of, not a 2-state solution here, right, of Palestine. They erase everything having to do with Israel, and they instruct the kids saying, Palestine, the entire land is ours, from the Med to the Jordan. And there's the map. And I've kept looking, and I was wondering where the arrow was pointing, but I don't see a possibility of 2 states. That's the truth. Palestinians are not interested at all about land swaps, land, etc., the annihilation, the extinction of Israel. That's the bottom line. That's true. And that's what we're up against. That's what we're called to be. It's why we're called to be praying for the peace of Jerusalem. God hasn't given up on Israel. Christianity is not God's plan B. God is going to use Israel still in a great way. And it's up to us as believers to pray that their eyes would be open to receive their Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus. I have no doubts that they remain as part of the everlasting covenant of God and his commitment. So we're called to live a life that causes them to be jealous and to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Again, happy Thanksgiving. I wish I had happier news, but that's the Middle East. That's what's going on. Please keep us in your prayers. Please pray that Israel will open its doors, not just to the vaccinated, but completely open their doors. We have a tour in March. We're crossing off the dates on the calendar, hoping and praying that this will be a reality. If you're interested, go to our website. It's the end of March into April. And in fact, there's probably some slides here with those dates on it. So with that, God bless you and shalom.